Imagine building the world's largest passenger plane, only to have it completely rejected by the biggest aviation market on Earth. The Airbus A380 was a $25 billion moonshot, but no U.S. airline ever bought it. Why? It's not just one reason, and it's not what you might think. Let's break it down. The A380 was a technological masterpiece. 4 massive engines, over 800 passengers in all. Luxury lounges, showers, even private suites in first class. It was Airbus's answer to Boeing's 747, a statement to the world. But the U.S. airline industry had already moved on. Let's start with airport infrastructure. The A380 is big, really big, too big for most U.S. airports. Its wingspan is almost 80 meters. Runway requirements? Massive. Taxiways, gates, even jet bridges had to be reinforced or redesigned. Only a handful of American airports were ready. So for airlines, buying the A380 meant lobbying for costly airport upgrades. For a plane they weren't even sure they could fill. Would you buy a car you can't fit in your garage? Then there's the route model. The A380 was built for the hub-and-spoke system. Pack hundreds of passengers into a single plane, fly them into a mega hub like Heathrow or Dubai, then redistribute them on smaller jets. But U.S. airlines have moved toward a point-to-point strategy. More frequent flights, more direct connections, smaller planes flying efficiently between cities. The A380 didn't fit that system. It was the wrong plane for the wrong market. And then there's economics. Operating costs on the A380 are brutal. Even with full loads, U.S. carriers saw better returns using smaller twin-engine aircraft like the 777 or A350. Fuel burn, maintenance, crew numbers, it all adds up. And what happens when fuel prices spike? You fly your trusty and cheap 787. U.S. airlines didn't want a plane they might use profitably in a perfect market. They wanted flexible aircraft they could fly year-round. Let's talk timing. By the time the A380 was ready for commercial service in 2007, the aviation world had changed. The 9/11 attacks had reshaped U.S. air travel. The 2008 recession followed. Airlines were consolidating, cutting costs, and avoiding risk. Buying a giant high-capacity aircraft in that climate? It wasn't bold. It was reckless. Now ask yourself this. Why did Emirates buy 123 of them? Because the Middle East works differently. They operate a super hub model. Their entire strategy is flying long-haul, high-density routes through Dubai. That's where the A380 shines. But JFK to Chicago? Or LAX to Atlanta? You don't need a flying cruise ship. You need a reliable workhorse. Let's flip the question. What if an American airline had bought the A380? Could Delta have used it to dominate transatlantic routes? Could United have launched ultra-luxury service to Asia? Maybe, but the risk was too high. And U.S. airlines play the long game. The A380 didn't promise steady profits. It promised headlines and headaches. Airbus eventually ended production in 2021. No more orders, no more upgrades. It became a legend too big to last. Some call it a failure. Others call it a symbol of ambition. But for U.S. carriers, it was always a pass. What do you think? Was the A380 ahead of its time, or a machine from a world that never really existed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love aviation stories that challenge how you think about flight, hit that like button and subscribe.